This week's Torah portion tells us the story of Aaron's grandson. His name was Pinchas, for which this portion is named after. Pinchas saw a terrible and tragic story unfolding before his eyes. The leader of the tribe of Shimon, Zimri, brought a Midianite lady into his tent, brazenly challenging the authority and leadership of Moshe. Knowing that Moshe himself was married to a Midianite lady, but unlike him, she was married to Moshe before the giving of the Torah and converted appropriately at the time of the giving of the Torah. When Pinchas saw that this act of a tribal leader, no less, had brought upon the Jewish people a terrible plague, he remembered a law that sometimes the law can be taken into your own hands, and that's what Pinchas did. He went out, and while Zimri was doing this terrible prohibited act, he killed Zimri and the Midianite lady. And God really revealed to the Jewish people that this was something he was in favor of, because upon this brave behavior of Pinchas, the plague stopped. Many people questioned Pinchas' motives. Was this really anger? Was it really something that he did to protect the honor of Moshe and the Jewish people? When the Torah described Pinchas' act, it says that God was happy because he was zealous for God and he protected the jealousy of God. You see, jealousy can take on two forms. One form of jealousy is that I'm jealous of someone or something, and I want what that person has, or I want that thing. Another form of jealousy is when we're jealous for someone. We're jealous to ensure that the relationship that we have or others have is completely protected and is not infringed upon some foreign element. And this is what Pinchas was fighting against. He wanted to ensure that the relationship between God and the Jewish people was protected. He was jealous for this relationship in the sense that he would do everything in his power to make sure that nothing would be able to enter and destroy and infringe upon the sanctity and the holiness and the quality of our relationship with God. The same is true when it comes to parenting. See, there is a slim line, a very thin wall between anger and discipline. And sometimes we really have to question what our motives of our behavior are. Do we sometimes discipline our children and are angry because we feel that they've done something against us? Or are we doing it to better our children so that next time they know what the right behavioral path they should take? And how would we know the difference? Well, we should know. Do we feel that our children simply have disrespected us, that they never listen to us? If we're going to do something to them because of those motives, typically it's going to come and be and present itself in a way of anger. But if we really are concerned about their welfare, if we're jealous about them being the best people they can be, then we'll be disciplining them, not out of anger, but ensuring that what message we convey to them will be a message that they know that next time they should be making different choices, because that's how it will impact who they in the future will be as people. Jewish law tells us an interesting thing, that when we discipline our children, and we have to do something that's heavy on our heart, it should be in a way, how do we know that it's truly heavy? If we walk away and a moment later, we'd like to put our head in our hands and cry because of what we felt was necessary to do. Anger or discipline? Are we doing it because we know it's best for them, or because we simply think that they have stepped on our honor and disrespected us? And this is the same. This is true for our children. This is true for our wives. We have to be jealous for the relationship between us and our spouses, that we do everything in our power, that we don't allow any foreign element to infringe that threatens this relationship. And the same will be true with us and Hashem. So, fighting God's war is not a bad thing. Being jealous for God is not a bad thing. Being zealous for God is not a bad thing. As long as we remember that it's not that we're not doing it because of us, but we're doing it because of the sanctity of the relationship that exists between the people and God that is most important to us. Have a great Shabbos.